Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Be Your Best. My name is Josh Clark, and today I want to talk about a higher purpose and pursuing that with excellence, with courage, with boldness. You know, this morning I was reading to my kids out of 1 Samuel chapter 17 about the story that we all know, regardless of how well-versed we are in the scriptures. We all heard the story of David and Goliath. And of course, like you, I've heard it many times, but it hit me just afresh and anew this week. And this morning I was sharing with my kids a couple things. One is we see David and Goliath when they meet each other, and David sees this Goliath who is defaming God's name, who is bringing dishonor to God's people. And it's interesting, David is he's only brought into the equation, the scenario, because his dad asked him to bring some lunch for his brothers. But when he gets there, you know, he's just a lowly little young shepherd boy. But when he gets there, he sees a problem. He sees something that grieves his heart. He sees this giant, this, you know, according to, you know, experts, they say 7 to 9 feet tall. Most people say about 9 feet. This giant, huge giant that is defaming, that's putting down God's people. And so he gets worked up. He's like, what's going to be done about this? And people are like, we don't know. He's too big. And they're just camping out. You know, like nobody has the courage to face this thing on. And no wonder. It's a big, big challenge. But he's a little boy. He's a little shepherd boy. And he sees a problem. And he's like, something has to be done. And so David says, you know, Saul, the king, hears about David's words saying, we got to do something about this. And he calls him, and David says, don't be worried about this. I can handle this, you know. And so he goes out there, and in God's name, not in like I'm some supernatural person, but it's like in God's name, I may be a little shepherd boy, but God can give me the strength. God can give me the ability. I can tackle this challenge. And what's interesting, one thing that really hits me about this story is that David was faithful in the little things when nobody was watching. When he was guarding the sheep, he could have let that sheep get taken by the bear or the lion. No big deal. You know, got a whole herd of sheep. What's one? Why should I worry about that? I'm too important. I don't need to be bothered or risk my life for that one little sheep. But you see, for David, he pursued excellence at everything. So he was prepared. He had this mindset that he had developed in the little things to where when this big man, this big Goliath, this giant, you know, challenge comes along, he's ready. But here's what really strikes me. Two things. A, he had a purpose. Like, you see Goliath in this exchange, he's like, you know, I'm going to kill you and cut you up. And, you know, and he's like, who are you? I'm humiliated. I'm dishonored that you would send a little boy like David to fight me. It's all about Goliath. It's all about him, you know, and who he is and who, you know, that he should be revered, you know, that he should be feared. But then David comes. David's not about him. David's about a higher purpose. David's like, you know what? And I love this courage. Two things: purpose and courage. You know, he's not timid. He's not like, well, we'll see if God blesses us. We'll see. I'll try. No, he steps up. This little man, but he steps up with courage, and he's like, I see a problem, and I'm going to take it on, and I'm going to cut you up, and I'm going to feed you to the birds of the air. Not because I'm some sharp, you know, dude, but because you've defamed God's name. See, there's a higher purpose. What's your purpose? What's my purpose? Why is it that you want to feel called to do what you're doing? Why is it that, you know, what do you want your kids to turn out at the end? What are you going about your day-to-day activities and, you know, with your family and raising kids and building a business? What's it about? Have a higher purpose. Have something bigger than just, you know, what you can see, you know, for the day. Something bigger that you're about, that drives you and compels you to take that step of courage. And then if you're going to do something, by all means, don't step up with a wimpy attitude. Well, we'll see. You know, we'll do our best. We'll see how this works. You know what? Christians, and I'm sorry to pick on Christians, you know, I call myself a follower. I try to be a follower of Jesus, but you know, Christians use this thing all the time. We'll see if God blesses it. You know, I'll do my best and leave it up to God. It's like David's like stepping up, like I'm taking this on, like he's claiming victory, but it's not about him. Isn't that, I mean, I'm so motivated. I'm so challenged. Like, I'm ready to take on this week. I'm ready to take on this year, and I want to take on big challenges. I want to take on God-sized challenges and believe not because I'm all that, but because He is, and I got a higher purpose. You know, I'm excited about my job. I'm part of a company. We're about ending the trend of chronic disease. We see a big problem, and other people are going to critique. Who are you guys to think you can do this? Well, guess what? We do have 60 years behind us nearly next year. We do have, one breakthrough after another. We do have clinical proof and science behind our products. But what's more than that? By God's grace, we have the courage to take this thing on, to believe that we can tackle the impossible, to take big challenges, and to step up and own it. And so I want to encourage you. What is your purpose in life? To me, the definition of success is knowing your purpose in life, pursuing it with excellence while making a lasting impact on the world around you. So what is your purpose? And then let's own it. All right? Now, I want to challenge you, if this video has encouraged you, take a moment to share it with your friends and family. And you can also, download our podcast at Be Your Best with Josh Clark. And I want to challenge you to do this. Identify what it is you need to be courageous about. Find a purpose, and then step up and do it with courage, all right? Let's make it a super, ultra awesome, fantastic day. God bless.